I would say we definitely went up in quality when it comes to the person asking the questions, though I've got a lot of criticism for Stephanie Ruhle. I do not put her in the same category as those ABC moderators or really even Dana Bash. She did ask some challenging questions. That's basically what I'm saying. But no follow-ups and none of the flip-flops of Kamala Harris's positions. Like all of this stuff is just left floating in the ether as though it's never happened. It's just incredibly frustrating to watch. But I'm grading on a curve here because when everyone fails the test, someone's got to be given a D+, I guess. Look, the real story is Kamala Harris and how she answered the question. She was terrible. She was absolutely awful. I actually don't really understand why she can't do the memorization trick that she did for the debate for these interviews. Now, she knows she's going to sit for this interview with a woman who has a business news background. She's just, done an economic speech. Why wouldn't you get your little note card team together and come up with a few actual answers on your economic plan, on its weaknesses that you might get asked about? I don't get it unless this is that version and those people aren't very good if they're not writing mean note cards about Trump. That might explain it, actually. Okay, there's a lot to go to. I have the transcript here. It started off with what I think may have been her worst answer. I actually think I was driving in my car last night listening to SiriusXM when this was rolling. And thank God for SiriusXM and the fact that you can get news live on SiriusXM, as a lot of you are doing right now. But in any event, I've heard this whole interview, and in particular, the one where she responded to red tape. How are we going to get rid of government red tape? We'll get to that. But let's kick it off with what was probably the second worst answer of the entire thing, and it was on question number 1. The question, you'll hear it here, was, okay, you laid out your economic vision, but a lot of Americans don't see themselves in your plans. What do you say to them, to Americans who don't see themselves in your plan? Her plans are so myopic. We talked about that one day. I was like, basically, if you have diabetes, she's got you in mind for something. Yay. And now, since then, she's talked about her economic plan covering first-time homebuyers, people who are in the first year of having a baby, and people who want to start a small business. All right. The vast, vast majority of Americans do not fall into one of those 3 categories. I believe that is what Stephanie Ruhle was trying to get at. What are you going to do about the millions, the hundreds of millions of Americans who are suffering thanks to your policies? And your 3 little proposals don't cover any of them. Would you listen to the nonsense, the repetitive nonsense? And if you've got, a vodka soda with a splash of lime right now, I challenge you to drink every time you hear hardworking dreams, ambitions, or aspirations. Roll it.
Madam Vice President, you just laid out your economic vision for the future. Yeah. But still, there are lots of Americans who don't see themselves in your plans. For those who say these policies aren't for me, what do you say to them?
Well, if you are hardworking, if you have the dreams and the ambitions and the aspirations of what I believe you do, you're in my plan. I have to tell you, I really love and am so energized by what I know to be the spirit and character of the American people. We have ambition. Oh my God. We have aspirations. We have dreams.
Yeah.
We can see what's possible. We have an incredible work ethic. But not everyone has the access to the opportunities that allow them to achieve those things. But we don't lack for those things. But not everyone, gets handed stuff on a silver platter. And so my vision for the economy, I call it an opportunity economy, is about making sure that all Americans, wherever they start, wherever they are, have the ability to actually achieve those dreams and those ambitions.
I'm hammered if I'm drinking at home at this point. Okay, so if you're hardworking, if you have the dreams, if you have the dreams and the ambitions and the aspirations of what I believe you do, you're in my plan. Got it? Okay. What does that even mean? I have to tell you, all the filler I really love and am so energized by what I know to be the spirit and character of the American people. You've said nothing. You are wasting time with filler. Just the little duck's legs underneath the lake, going and going and going and going and going and going. Nothing's happening, though. Nothing. Energize, love, what I know to be, spirit, character, American people. We have ambition. We have aspirations. We have dreams. We can see what's possible. You could see the edit of her. We can be unburdened by what has been. You can see she's been told, don't stop, just stop saying that. You can see the self-edit. We can see what's possible. We have an incredible work ethic. Okay, you already said that. If you're hardworking, you have dreams, ambitions, and aspirations, you're in my plan. I love and am so energized by what I know to be the spirit and character of the American people. We have ambitions, we have aspirations and dreams, and we have an incredible work ethic. We can see what's possible. So far, we've done nothing. All right, is everybody with me on what she's doing here? But not everyone has the access to the opportunities. Again, the question was, for the people who don't see themselves in your plans, what do you say to them? Not everyone has access to the opportunities that allow them to achieve those things. Achieve what things? Ambition, dreams, and aspirations? What things? You haven't laid any of the things out. Not everyone gets handed stuff on a silver platter. You mean dreams, ambitions, and aspirations? What? So my vision for the economy, I call it an opportunity economy. I love how she's like, this is my phrase, this is my thing, an opportunity equality. I mean, the true thing that she's running on is equity. If you really read her plan, she's going back to, we don't all start in the same place, but we absolutely have to finish in the same place. It doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't matter your level of education. It doesn't matter how well adjusted you are or aren't. You must end in the same place in Kamala Harris's worldview. That's equity. She's on camera saying it more times than I can count. That's what opportunity economy stands for. In any event, she didn't say that here. Okay, my vision is making sure all Americans, wherever they start, wherever they are, here we go again, have the ability to actually achieve those dreams and those ambitions. You can feel the cringing of her staff, can't you, at this point? You know they're back like, oh, stop saying that. We're on no card number 2 now. Which include, now she's getting to what the dreams and ambitions actually include, which include, for middle-class families, here we go, what? Just being able to know that their hard work allows them to get ahead, right? Right? I hate how she says right after all of her sentences. Right? You know? Right? Like she said something truly profound, and now we're bonding over what a soothsayer she is, how she really sees the future for us all. Okay, so she's going to make sure we have the ability to actually achieve our dreams and our ambitions, which include being able to know that our hard work allows us to get ahead. That's what she's going to do as president. That's amazing. I love that she's going to do that for me. What other thought in my mind about how the future could be, just general thought about how I'd like to be. I'd like to be a kinder person. I would like to be more observant in my faith. Can she help me with that? Maybe she'll work on those opportunities for me to actually achieve my dreams and ambitions and my aspirations. And then she finishes it off with, we didn't play this, but I come from the middle class. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked hard. No one gives a shit about your mother. They care about themselves. Stop talking about your mother. Start talking about the people who are actually suffering. Okay, so the only thing she said in the whole answer, and this was at the very end, was my vision for the economy is let's deal with some of the everyday challenges that people face and address them with common sense solutions. And then we got these 4 words, such as, yes, what? Affordable housing. Okay, affordable housing. She's gonna solve that. We're not sure how, but she's mentioned a $25,000 tax break for first-time home buyers only. So if you've already owned a home, you're effed. If you're struggling to pay your mortgage, but it happens to be your second home, you're effed. That's it. And then she wants to somehow create more houses. We don't know how. We'll get to that later. Okay. Then, instead of Stephanie Ruhle saying, you did not answer any of my question, you said a bunch of nonsense and did not get substantive. What specifically are you going to do outside of the 3 myopic, tiny proposals you keep mentioning? No, that wasn't the follow-up. The follow-up was, ready? Over the last 4 years, there have been tremendous economic wins. And you have just laid out a big plan. What? What? What are the tremendous economic wins? Was it the trillions in spending that we could not afford that drove us up to double-digit inflation? Was it the Inflation Reduction Act, which President Joe Biden has admitted was falsely named and was really a climate bill, which we all knew at the time? And like, what? That's sycophantic commenting and questioning. It's not questioning at all. And then she pivots to, okay, this is fine, but still the polling shows most likely voters still think Trump is better to handle the economy. Why do you think that is? Okay. Then she comes out with, Trump left us the worst economy since the Great Depression. When you look at the employment numbers, to Stephanie Ruhle's credit, she says that was during COVID. She says she means unemployment was so high because we shut down the government and we shut down the country. Good for her. Then Harris responds with lies. Even before the pandemic, he lost manufacturing jobs. By most people's estimates, at least 200,000. What does that mean, most people? Kamala, her husband Doug, Tim Walz, Joe Biden? Because that's just not true. That's actually a knowable fact. Doesn't have to be an estimate. We actually can look it up. And we don't have to look very far because CNN, which is no fan of Donald Trump, actually fact-checked this itself, saying the loss in manufacturing jobs for Trump's entire presidency was 178,000 manufacturing jobs. But you've got to look at when those came, okay? Because manufacturing employment plummeted at the start of the pandemic, shedding 1.3 million jobs in April 2020 alone. The economy then immediately resumed adding manufacturing jobs, increasing each month from May to December during the pandemic before a small loss in January 2021 when we were splitting over administrations. Okay, but those gains were not enough to make up for the losses of the pandemic in March and April. So what was lost, 178,000, was lost during the pandemic. And she is wrong when she says, because Kamala Harris, says, no, before the pandemic, Donald Trump lost those jobs. That's a lie. Stephanie Ruhle, I'll give her some slack in not having her fact check ready, because maybe she didn't know, but she was ready to say, that those unemployment numbers were caused by COVID. And so if it had been me, if I get the chance to interview Kamala Harris, you can bet I'm going to run down what she says in response to all these issues. And if there's any lies that she said on record, it's my job to fact check her. In any event, she lied and got away with it. There we go. And by the way, the truth about Trump is that prior to that point, prior to the pandemic, he presided over a gain in manufacturing jobs of 414,000. 414,000. This is a plus for Trump, not a minus as they portrayed on MSNBC. My family and I love our dogs. Yes, even Strudwick. Thunder makes it easy. Strudwick was challenging. Today, he broke a butter tray. That's, I think, his third. Anyway, I love him now standing. These guys have a great life, but some dogs are not so lucky. And that is why I'm so glad to tell you about Delta Rescue. It's the largest no-kill, care-for-life animal sanctuary in the world. They have rescued thousands of dogs, plus cats and horses too. They provide all the animals with shelter and safety and most of all, love. And they've been doing it now for more than 45 years. Delta Rescue relies solely on contributions to stay open, and giving can bring tax benefits to you as well. Speak with your estate planner about how you can grow your estate while helping animals in need. And check out the estate planning tab on their website to learn more. We love our Thunder and Strudwick, but would love for other dogs who need love in their lives and a home to find them. Visit deltarescue.org today to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.